Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. So now guys, the biggest problem that Nigeria is contending with is not corruption. No, the biggest problem that Nigeria is contending with is tribe over competence. So this is the thing really that is holding us back the most, because the average Nigerian is happy to have somebody of his tribe be in power, irrespective of that person's capacity to deliver. And you find that the most within the Hausa Fulani set up the northern regions of the country. So they're happy to have their own man there, even if they feel or they know that this guy does not have capacity. So long as it's of their own, that is all they care about. So now this problem is now coming home to bite them, especially within the northern space. As guys, I bring you this: why I insulted President Buhari, Governor Masiri, 70-year-old man opens up. So I have done a video on this previously a couple of days ago about 3 people in Katsina, the president's own home state, who were arrested for insulting and criticizing Buhari. So this is now one of those people now coming out in the public space to give his reasons for insulting the Malami. So again, the headline: why I insulted President Buhari, Governor Masiri, 70-year-old man opens up. So let's now see what friendly fire is going on amongst the Malamis. A 70-year-old man, Lawal Izala, who was arrested for insulting President Muhammadu Buhari and Governor Aminu Masari of Katsina State, has revealed the reason for his action. It was reported that the Katsina State Police Command had on Thursday arrested Izala and 2 other persons for insulting the 2 political personalities on social media. Speaking to reporters on Saturday, Izala said he insulted them for the high level of insecurity ravaging the state and the country at large. He added that the 2 leaders have failed the state and the country. He said he became angry when he visited his village and found out that bandits had killed his family members and rustled 15 of his cows. He said, I was coming back from my village where my 15 cattle were rustled and my family members killed. I was passing, but when I was asked about how life was going on for me, then I said, our leaders Buhari and Masiri have failed us. I then threw insult out of anger from my agony. I did not even know I was being recorded on video. I was just saying my mind with all honesty. It was after the video went viral that I was arrested by the police. I was accused of committing a crime under the penal code. So a crime under the penal code for insulting or criticizing the president is just a laughable thing. But then of course we've seen this with Sowore, where one of the charges that were leveled against Sowore was insulting the president. So insulting the president now is something that is now liable to land you in jail within the Nigerian space. Imagine if that was the case in more civilized countries like any European country or the United States or Canada. Imagine saying that criticizing Trump was a jailable offense. Half the population of America will be in prison by now, because that guy is routinely, almost minute by minute, mocked and ridiculed. So now, no free speech in Nigeria, one, but then of course we've always known this. But let's just examine that. Let's put that under the microscope, what they're accusing this guy of. They're accusing him of insulting the president. So now, if insulting the president is an opinion and is an expression of an emotion, is then praising the president also worthy of criticism? So because you cannot have one without the other, so we then expected to only praise this Malami is really where the question is. But then of course is that Janjaweed mindset, isn't it? This you know, primitive Fulani sort of thing that goes on within the Nigerian space. So insulting the president now is something that can not just can but will land you in the custodies of the authority, if not even cost you your life. So now that's the first thing. But the second thing really is the reasons why this guy has said the things that he has said. So this guy has gone to his homestead to find out that his family has been savaged and his cattle ravaged. So now you are now going up to this guy who is not just now coming back from this sort of traumatic experience, this sort of traumatic realization that this guy has just had vested upon him in his own home village, that some people have just gone and savaged his family and stolen his cattle. So now you then put a camera in front of that guy, or you ask that guy what his opinion is. The opinion of that guy is almost certain to be the opinion that this guy has expressed. So this is an honest opinion, as this guy has said. So this guy said, I was just saying my mind with all honesty. So he was saying his mind with all honesty, and saying his mind with all honesty is really as a result of the experience that he has just gone through. So you cannot ask him to go through that experience where 15 of his cattle were stolen and members of his family were killed, and then you tell him to then be of a good opinion of the people that he has trusted to ensure that that does not happen. So where is he going to vest his anger other than in the direction of the people that were supposed to provide security so that things like this do not happen? But then things like this, of course, has been happening all the way through the years of Buhari especially, and really going back beyond Buhari, to be fair, but more so within the Buhari structure, because there's no governance in place, and the country is now effectively like a free-for-all sort of country that they are running now. Just do as you like and do as you will, might is right and all that. So the most powerful will just take advantage of anybody because they know that there's no repercussion. But then the person that they then take advantage of is not now, this is now the new development, is not now allowed to then cry out that he's been taken advantage of. It's like beating somebody and insisting that they should not cry. You cannot have both. You can only have one or the other. You cannot take koboko and be flogging somebody and tell them neither to cry out in pain or shout. How is that a possibility? How is it a possibility that you would have somebody go to his homestead to find the situation that this guy has found and then say that he cannot be critical of what has led to that situation? So this is what they are contending with within the Nigerian space. And the irony of it all, where it is funniest, is that these people are not only Hausa Fulanis, they are actually Hausa Fulanis of the president's own stock. So these are people from his own home state, his own very own people, his own stock. And if his own very own people, his own stock, are this critical of him, because of course if this was a Yoruba man or an Igbo man, they will say, it's tribalism, he hates Balam Buhari because he's Fulani, is this, that and the other. So these are not the traditional Buhari haters. These are people from Kasina state, and this is their view. And this view that they have, this view that they hold, is based on their experience. And this guy, by the way, is a 70-year-old man, so is really at the heartland of Buhariism. So you don't get more Buhari than a 70-year-old Hausa Fulani man from Katsina state. So there is no such thing as a Buhari supporter beyond the description of this very guy that is now critical of him to the point of getting arrested. So you don't get more Buhariist than a man from his own tribe, a man from his own ethnicity, a man of his own religion, and a man from his own home state. It might as well be Buhari's twin for the closeness that they have in their sort of lineage. So this is a Buhari person from his own heartland now saying this. But then of course, rather than them then look to address the things that this guy is highlighting, they are instead trying to weigh down upon him. So rather than them trying to address the things that Showore was highlighting, they tried to weigh down upon him. And Agbaja Lingo, and that what was that guy that was arrested alongside Showore, I can't quite recall his name. So this is now their own. So how many people are they going to arrest within the Nigerian state is really where the question is, because everybody, of course, is critical of the goings on within the Nigerian space. Why would you not be? Because the country, of course, is completely run down. So everybody is critical of the Nigerian state. So how many of these opinions would you arrest? Because of course, just last year or so, they were thinking to make criticizing people on social media a capital offense. So that was their answer then, but this is their answer now, to arrest anybody that is saying that there's bad governance in Nigeria, where you have to arrest pretty much 80% of the supposed 200 million population of that country, because there's nobody except, of course, people amongst the looters that is having Nigeria as a positive experience in any way. There's no Nigerian at the moment that would describe being a Nigerian and living in Nigeria as a positive experience. It is not a positive experience for anybody except for somebody that is stealing money. And even the people that are stealing money, it is not a positive experience for them living within the Nigerian space, because even if they steal all this money, they still have to step out of their house to contend with society, and they experience all of the things that society experiences: bad roads, police brutality, no medical services, no electricity. So all of the things that we're experiencing as a result of this sort of bad governance that we have in place, it is not a good experience for anybody. And this guy, of course, now is yet another example. So this guy now, he falls in the bracket of Omoyele Sowore and the freedom fighters now. So this guy, effectively now, what we now have is a 70-year-old Fulani freedom fighter, something we thought we would never see within the Nigerian space. Conversations in the comment section criticizing Buhari is liable to land you in jail. This is now the latest directive from Aso Rock. Come share thoughts, but before you do that, click on the red subscribe button so it turns grey. Bell button notifies you every time I drop a new video. Then come tell me what you're making of this now. No freedom of speech in Nigeria in the comment section. So I'll leave you here. Carry this conversation on with you in the comment section, but here I say peace.